Hi there guys, welcome to this video on expanding brackets, but before we start we're going to have to do a little warm-up to make sure we're ready to learn how to expand a bracket. Now what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and come up with answers for all of these 6 questions. Really think about it. Don't be afraid to get it wrong, so I'm going to put it right if you do make a mistake, but I want you to really think. So pause the video. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've had a go. It's time to get that warm fuzzy feeling when you've got these all right. So, with multiplication of terms, we just hide the multiplication really. So we've got 2 lots of m, 2 times m is 2 m's. So with this one at the top right here, 3 times r, well that's 3 r's. So you can see all we're doing is hiding the multiplication sign. It's the only sign or operation we can actually hide. So 2m means 2 times m. Alright, so maybe a bit harder with letters, but we just do exactly the same thing. We just hide the multiplication. Now, however, when the letter is the same, r times r is r repeated twice. We could write r, but imagine if there were 6 of them, you'd just be writing r along bits. So we could write r to the power 6. So much better. So, a little bit more complicated now. What does this mean? Well, what does 4m mean? Well, that's 4 times m, and then we've got times, well 3p is 3 times p, we're just basically undoing what we did at the top here. So with multiplication we can do in any order, so we can do the numbers themselves, so 4 times 3 is 12, and then we've got m times p, well that's what we had up here, so we just put those together. So that means 12 times m times p, or 4 times m times 3 times p. All the same thing, but we're looking to shorten it and simplify it as much as we can. Right, so what does this one mean? That's 4m is 4 times m, 2m is 2 times m, and we're multiplying all of that. Do it in any order, just like before. So 4 times 2 is 8, and m times m, we're not going to write we're going to say it's been repeated twice. Okay, so hopefully you had lots of success, but I want you to pause the video again and try and match these up. Okay, you might want to write them down on a piece of paper and just draw lines like I'm about to do. So good luck and press play when you're ready. Okay, welcome back. Hope you haven't fallen for my little traps here. So let's start with 3m. Hopefully you had it was 3 times m. Now this is the little curveball up here, 3 plus m. Some of you may have joined this one as well. It just doesn't have a pair. These are not like terms. You can't simplify them any further. But these aren't like terms, but with multiplication we can simplify them a bit more. Let's change colour. So 4rp, what I'm looking for is 4 times r times p. Now what I will say while we're here is this is the same as 4 times p times r, and it's the same as p times 4 times r. Remember we can do it in any order. And normally we wouldn't write rp, we write pr because we write it in alphabetical order. So they were the same. Right, so they matched. Let's do that as well. But there was a little curveball for this one, which was here. And these are not like terms. We can't add these together. That is actually in its simplified version, just like up here. Let's go pink. Hopefully you had these two the same. But this is also the same. Okay, so they are both the same thing. So that's all you had to do. Right, now it's time to expand brackets. So let's take you on a little journey. Let's imagine we're opening a new zoo at our school. You know, how incredible would that be? At break time, lunchtime, you can go and see the animals. It'd be amazing. Now, but to ensure the safety of the animals, we're only going to start with 2 enclosures at the start. Make sure we can look after them properly, feed them efficiently, you know, and we have everything tickety-boo before we go on to some new animals. So what should we have and how many is a question I normally ask my class, but today we're going to have meerkats and red pandas. 8 meerkats and 5 red pandas. Okay, so I'm just going to write that down here. So we've got 8 meerkats and 5 pandas. Now, red pandas. Now, that's all well and good, but as a mathematician, we're not really happy with that. We want to try and write things as small as possible. Remember, maths isn't to make things harder, it's to make things easier. So instead of writing meerkats, well, what we could do is just say, well, let's just call that an M. So we have 8 M's. red pandas, I'm just going to go for the R. You could have gone for the P for the pandas, but I'm going to go 5R. And this word and, well, let's think about what that will be. So if we have 8 meerkats and 5 red pandas, we've got 13 animals, right? And how did I get the 13? Well, I added them. So instead of writing and, we can put a plus. So we've got 8 meerkats and 5 red pandas, 13 animals in total. But we can't actually simplify these to 13 MRs because they are not like terms. A meerkat isn't a red panda. You can't put them together and get a Miranda or a red cat. So it doesn't make any sense, right? So, like terms. Super. Right, so that the school children can, other school children from different schools, right, don't want to just keep them for themselves. So we're going to say, right, let's make some other schools have zoos as well. And we're going to sponsor them. It's going to be amazing. So we decided to open 2 other zoos at 2 other schools. Okay, so how many of each animal would we have now? So there'd be 3 zoos in total. So how many meerkats? Well, I think you'll agree there'd be 24 meerkats. And we would now have 15 red pandas. And we would still be adding them to find out how many animals we had in total. But what we could have done, instead of writing 24M and 15R, we could have said, well, that is 1 zoo, and put a bracket around it, say that is everything in our zoo right now. But we're actually going to have 3 of them. So that 3 outside that bracket means we're going to multiply everything inside by 3. We're going to expand the brackets. So all we have to do is do 3 times 8, M, which is 24M, and 3 times 5R, which is 15M. Now, let's have a look at some more. Okay, so here we have some brackets. Now, you haven't got any story or anything that just say expand these brackets. So what I like to do is just remind myself that everything in here, but I want 3 of them now. So I want 3 of this term, 3 of those, and 3 of this. And there could be more than 2 terms, you just have 3 of everything. But when I start, I like to draw the line, so I'm having 3 of those. 3 times 2x is 6x. And I also want 3 of those. 3 5s, well, that's 15. And that 15 is a positive number, so we have a positive sign. Okay, so 2 at a time. So we want 5 of everything in this bracket. So now we have 10 M's. And 5 negative 3's, well, that's minus 15. So that's why there's a minus there. 7 of this bracket, so 7 lots of 4R. That's 28 R's. And 7 lots of 8 is 56. And that 56 is positive. Let's make it a bit harder. So now we've got a number and a letter outside. So we've got 3 M's times 2 P's. Right, so we're going to have 3. This is where it goes into a bit more of a mathland problem. So this is the multiplication we're going to do. So that first one, 3M times 2P. So from the warm-up, you should be pretty happy now. 3 times 2 is 6. And these are different letters, so we're just going to put them next to each other. Now we've got 3 M's, but 4 times 4. So 4 lots of 3M, or 3M lots of 4. Doesn't matter which way you say it. But 3 times 4 is 12. There's only one letter, so I'm just writing the M. Now, next one. 3R times 2R. Okay, so let's do the numbers first. 6. But now we have a repeated letter. So R times R. Instead of writing RR, we're going to write R repeated twice, R squared. Now, if you get stuck with this one, you can put a 1 there if you like. So it's 3 times 1, which is a positive 3. So I'm writing a positive 3. We've gone R times a P. They're different letters, so we're just going to pop them next to each other. And if I wrote PR, that's fine as well, but that's alphabetical order. So I could have written 3PR. Okay? Both are right. So let's make it a little bit harder still. So 3 lots of this. Well, this one's not harder. I must have designed this question wrong. But 3 times 2p, well, that's 6p. And we've got 3 lots of negative 2r. So 3 times negative 2 is minus 6. And there's only one letter involved, so we just have to write that down. They're not like terms, so we can't collect them. Finished. Okay, 2p times p, so 2p lots of this bracket. 2p times p, well, you can put a 1 there again if you want to, if it makes things easier. 2 times 1 is 2. But we have p times p, the letters being repeated, squared. This can be 3 or 4 if there's more repeated, but most of these you're only going to have like 2. So 2p times 3, that's 6p. Now, this is better. So, let's have a look. 4x times 3x. Well, 4 times 3, that's 12. We have a letter times a letter, x times x, and they're repeated, so it's a 2. 4x times 2y, well 4 times 2 is 8. We have a letter and a letter, but they're different, so we're just going to pop them together. Alphabetical order is easier. So, this one, 3m times 2p, well 3 2's are 6, and then we have MP. Letters are different, so let's put them next to each other. Now, 3m times 3m, well it's a minus 3m, so minus 9. And m is being multiplied by another m, it's being repeated, so we're not going to write mm, we write m squared. Now we can put a negative in front as well. It's important you get used to these because in the next video we're going to take it a little bit further than this, so don't think this is too hard for you. But minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. Then we have minus 2 times 3p, which is minus 6p. There's only one letter there, so started off nice just with the minus out the front. It's an easier one. But then we jump to this high-end one here. So we've got a minus times a positive, it's a minus. 3 times 2, 6. We've got two letters multiplied together. They're different, so we just put them together. Alphabetical order. It doesn't matter if you put yx, that's absolutely fine, but if you're going to check your work with mine, if I've put xy and you've put yx, they are exactly the same, because multiplication, it doesn't matter what order we do things in. So minus 3x times minus 5x, we've got a minus times a minus, that's going to be a positive. We've got 3 times 5, 15. We've got an x times an x, so x is being repeated twice. Now it's your time to practice all of those skills. Best of luck, and please reach out if you're stuck at any point.